Perfect.
Michael Malarkey, Chase Coleman.
Yeah. Hi.
Hey.
Comment ça va?
Hello.
Enchanté.
So nice to see you.
Ian and
Hey guys! How are you?
Pac-Man on the street.
Pac-Man. There's a Pac-Man game out there.
Yeah, I just saw it.
Bonjour.
Hello. Hello.
How is everyone?
Perfect.
This is the best looking press conference I've
I
ever
know.
been to.
Welcome to Belgium.
This is
Welcome to
terrific.
Cute.
Belgium. Everyone's awesome.
Are you good?
Hi.
Take some notes.
Take some notes. Where's this little guy?
Good, man. Yeah, he's coming to a quarter in that
Is this what I found in my hotel room?
Okay, the first question, please. If you can raise your hand. Okay. Yes, please.
A question for all of us. What does this kind of convention mean for you?
Well, I think conventions in general are a fantastic opportunity for us to connect with the fans, get feedback, and see the kind of passion they have for the show. You know, me personally, I come from a theater background, and we get that immediate audience response. Whereas in TV, we film it and move on. And so we don't really have that interaction with the fans. So this is a great opportunity for us to get back and also to meet them and see what they think about the show.
I agree. That's exactly it. I mean, look, you know, social media and it becomes very convoluted. Like he talked about when you do theater, you get that immediate response. We have a sort of a response, but it's masked on these things, which it's not necessarily a true feeling. You don't actually get a real response. The human interaction that you don't get from here, you get from meeting thousands of people at one time, and it's a very positive thing to actually experience that. So we're grateful to KLZ for bringing us here
Yes.
to make sure this happens.
Yes,
Thank you very
it's my second year. Is it your second year here or third year? Fourth?
Third.
Third. It's my second year here, and for us, it's also a great way to give back. I mean, Brussels has been so supportive of the Vampire Diaries from day one, and it's a great way for us to spend time with the fans and interact with them, and talk to the press here, and give back to you guys who consistently throughout the years have been so supportive of us.
Yeah, absolutely. Daniel.
I mean, I don't know what to add to that. It was so eloquently put. But yeah, it is lovely. It's weird. It's, you know, like, you almost feel like a band sometimes when you're in a, because we lock ourselves away and do the show for as long as we do, and then we get these hiatuses, and you sort of, it feels like you're sort of touring a little bit. You know, it's
We're
really
not a
fun,
band.
and it feels so nice to be able to sort of say thank you personally, and we're deeply grateful to the people who are accommodating us here.
Yeah. Well, we actually have the band, so.
Oh yeah,
I mean, we
yeah.
can
I brought
really-
the guitar, so we'll
Honestly,
see.
we
They
could
lost his
probably-
luggage. He has no clean underwear,
But
but he has his
really?
guitar.
Yeah,
So you
We
need-
saw
I
that.
have a baby Taylor in my room.
You do?
Yeah, it doesn't have a pickup in it though.
we
but,
should
you know.
jam.
Wait, are you freeballing? No.
Actually, no, I did. I washed
You
my
did wash.
socks. Yeah,
You
so they
washed.
lost my luggage, and I washed my socks and underwear in the shower last night.
Oh, perfect.
Hung them up to dry.
Oh, good.
So they're
You're gonna get so
relatively
many-
clean.
They're
so
relatively
much-
clean.
Relatively
so many
clean.
clothes
But are they
in
dry? They were dry, right?
They were dry,
Okay.
air dried and then blow dried. But to get back to the question at hand, I wanted to add something real fast, rather than being on me. What I wanted to say real quick, because Michael, you kind of said it. What I love about seeing all the fans in the conventions is seeing how we have affected them in that way, like how they've been affected and moved by a performance, and what they, almost to a point of like what you do with your, the foundation. It's how you move people to action,
Right.
how you move someone to want to make a change and do something, make a difference.
That's awesome.
And I get so excited when I get to see people moved. You know, you change their lives in a way. That's what I get excited about.
Thanks, man. Thanks for bringing that and adding that. Because basically, they had to bring these guys in because we as the actors bore the shit out of the fans. So they brought in the band to give them some solid movement.
Yeah, totally.
Thanks, brother.
Okay, please start with the questions. If you would start with the questions, please. Second question. Okay, Ian.
What?
If you had to choose, what would you? If you had to choose, what would you be in real life, a human or a vampire?
I'd probably stay human, or maybe I would just stay a vampire for a little while, and I would use that that amazing thing that we can do, where I can look at you and make you do whatever I want.
I don't think you need to be a vampire to do
I
that.
think
You
you
got pretty well on your own.
kind of do that anyway, man.
No, it would be amazing, because then I would go to Washington, or I'd come to Brussels, and I would talk some sense into our politicians and our corporate leaders, and make them do the right thing. And then once I was tired of being a vampire, I would probably get like an 80-year-old bottle of like Barbados rum, and then go sit on a beach, and then take my ring off, and then just leave the world a better place, get it done. But I just don't like killing people anymore. It's illegal.
Thank you. Please?
For which one of you? Which character could you choose if you weren't your real one in the series? For the original Cinematic Diaries.
It's so, I can't even imagine playing another character. I think that everyone has done such a good job and they've made it their own so much that even I can't see, as cocky as I can't see anyone else playing Bonnie Bennett.
I could play Bonnie.
You could maybe play Bonnie.
I could be a good Bonnie.
I'll be honest with you, I think I play a very good Bonnie as well. I'm just
Okay, so I've got now competition.
I think I'd be an amazing
Everyone wants to play
hero.
Bonnie. But I mean, literally, you can't even imagine anyone else other than Ian playing Damon, or anyone else other than Malarkey playing Kenza. It's just like, they're so good. The characters brought so many different colors to the characters. I don't know, personally, I can't.
I would have played the Crow, and then I would have flown out of
The
Mystic
Crow.
Falls.
I think you told her Brandon Lee's the Crow.
No, I was
Where are you
playing
going with
the
it?
Crow in
They're
season
remaking
1
that.
that Damon.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're remaking that.
I would have played the Crow that Damon ate, and then just flown out of Mystic Falls. We miss Elijah. Julie had to go create this other stupid show called The Originals, and then we lost all of our great actors with the great accents.
We have no accents now.
We have no accents.
Oh, Ansel.
Hey,
So much American.
I was just waiting for him to say.
Oh wait, yeah.
you see
You know
I'm
what?
paying
We've
attention.
got one.
Yeah, but
We've
this
got
is-
one. We're holding on to him for dear
But
life.
this is the new character that adds so much to this show, and I hope that we get to get our Enzo Damon thing back on.
We've missed working with each other
Denzo?
last season. We had like 2
Denzo.
seasons together.
Denzo.
I'll
So,
ship that.
Well, we had a couple days together,
yeah.
a couple episodes together, but whoa, the Parisian Prowler,
Yeah, man. You read this, but
I love that. Yeah.
we were just in Paris, so I thought I'd do some reading.
Yeah, this is, I'm grateful that we all get to play these characters, and when we definitely do miss Elijah. Whenever Paul and I talk about characters, you're also the character that we'd also all hook up with.
Really?
I think
Elijah was
the
hot.
boys have bigger crushes on Daniel Gillies.
You
than
always
myself.
say that.
I do always say it's true.
There's some female.
No, you have
Monday
female, but
contingency.
everyone he's just a man's man, and it's
A man's man.
you are.
Totally.
I just like him as a
It's
friend.
so uncomfortable.
Just as a friend.
Everyone loves Daniel Gillies.
That's not.
Everyone.
Next question.
Next
Yeah,
question.
let's move on.
Okay, can I ask a question to everybody?
If you dare, go for it, if you can.
Is it difficult for a good actor to play a bad guy, like a vampire or?
Well, first of all, there are no good actors on this show.
Not at once.
So-
That's your
Let's
first
eliminate
mistake.
that possibility. That's
So you
That's
might
the
want to
first.
rephrase that.
That's the first mistake.
Right.
Sorry, go ahead.
Good actors think they're bad, bad actors think
Yeah,
they're
because
good.
most of you, okay, maybe except for Bonnie, but most of you play characters that are at times very bad. So is it difficult for an actor who is that good to play a bad guy?
It's more fun to play the bad guy. It's just more fun. For some reason, we as humans love the bad boy. It was even Paul. Paul loves playing the Ripper as opposed to the good guy. Damon, I kicked and screamed when I found out that Damon was in love with Rose.
Rose.
I kicked it. I remember calling Julie and Kevin literally almost in tears, like, why? Why? And they said, because, You can't be a one-trick pony. This is a 150 episode arc of some man. You can't just always be the bad guy.
I think also the thing is, you know, as actors, it's our obligation to humanize bad guys, you know, and as an actor, I don't feel like there's any, like, well, there's some truly evil characters, but even somebody like Richard III, he had his motivations for doing what he was doing, and what's interesting for us as actors is to justify those choices and make them good.
And not judge that character.
And you can't judge
never
a
judge a character. You know, he made a good point. Justifying those characters is actually quite an interesting thought, because ultimately what you're doing is, and Ivana Chubbuck and I figured this out with Damon. She actually coined the phrase, but Damon was a character like Enzo, like anyone, even Elijah, even Bonnie. But this guy, and particularly for me, Damon had ill intentions, but for righteous reasons. And those are actually the most dangerous people. Look at the world right now that we live in. Look at the Middle East. Look at Syria. Look at what's happening in Europe. Look what's happening in America. Fundamentalism is ultimately people who are justified in their actions. They have ill intent, but it's for righteous reasons. So how do you argue with them? And, ooh.
Help yourself.
I'm going to piggy on what you just said, because I have something just popped in my mind.
No.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I
go
would,
for it.
actually. I'll take that guy.
Ecstasy? Oh, good.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Also,
One,
as actors, you know, I think we enjoy getting to pretend and be what we're actually not. Like I'm pretty familiar with most of you. I just met Kat. So I don't know if you actually are an evil person.
I don't think so. Ask me later. Ask me at 3 a.m.
You know, we love getting to be that which we actually are not in real life. Playing the bad guy is somebody that, you know, most of us, if we're raised well and have great morals, we're not going to be in real life.
No.
And even aside from that, you know, you were talking even as characters. 'Cause my character in the original is Oliver. I mean, I literally killed the mother of our pack, but his reasons are always justified. He thought he was doing the right thing. I always thought he was doing the right thing. And then eventually down the line, he came to the righteous path, you know, basically sacrificed himself for that. But yeah, that's what I was going to say, you know, that as actors, I think it's the most enjoyment, getting to be what we're not, the opposite. And the bad guy, most of the time, tends to be what that is, hopefully. What about you, Kat?
Daniel, you had that too. Bonnie definitely has.
I mean, yeah, I think, well, Ian and I work the same way. We work with Ivana Chubbuck, and it's all about what Ian said. It's like you have to have a justification of the behavior for the character. And as much as it is fun to play someone outside of yourself, I think it's more of a challenge and actually more rewarding when you play
Someone inside
of yourself.
It's all that shit you build up and stir up
you
from
have
the past.
Yeah, you have to be, or even from the present, you know. Art imitates life, and I think
Or
the
the
scenes
present.
that, I think that the scenes that have really connected to people, especially this season, especially the stuff that that Ian and I have done together, have been, especially with Bonnie, she does things because she believes they're the right things to do, and I think Damon does too, because he was in love with Elena and did whatever he could to protect her. But both of them kind of, I mean, we had literally a couple like fight scenes,
Meltdowns?
and I literally have the characters literally cut him open, and you know, and tortured him just because, you know, she felt betrayed, she felt alone, and all that has to come through in the art, or else, you know, a bad guy is just a bad guy, and you forget about it, and you don't root for him. But people root for Damon Salvatore, and he's the, you know, the biggest badass in Mystic Falls. You know what I mean? It's like, but you root for him because of what Ian has brought to the character.
Well, not until Elijah or Enzo kicks the shit out of you. You know,
Right.
It's actually really interesting. I remember actually, it's two-parter actually, when these two guys came into our show. When Elijah came, I remember in season 2 there was a scene, was it 3 or 2? It was when,
Season
2, where we're in this cafe, and Elijah's standing outside, and he has a handful of quarters.
Oh yes.
And he throws them in, and he shatters and explodes this giant window. And it's mayhem inside of there. And I remember watching that performance and looking at how the storyline was going. And the cool thing about it was, this guy was so justified in his actions. and I was thinking I would have done the same thing. I mean, as a character. Enzo, the same thing. You know, what seems like senseless, merciless killing. You know, it's an interesting study in humanity, actually. We see these characters, and I'm not trying to be too cerebral. At the end of the day, this is a teen vampire soap opera. I get it. But this man who had just been tortured and had nothing left and felt abandoned by everything and everyone except this one guy, Damon, there's a lot riding on that. And I see that in our audience sometimes, in fans. When I was just in Paris, and I actually need to send out a tweet saying, I'm really sorry. You know, there are people that wait outside the hotel, or when you're walking down the streets, people want to take a picture with you, and it's
Glad you're addressing this.
the thing is, like, hey guys, I love you guys, but if I take one picture with you, then it's going to be the next 45 minutes of my life. Everyone from the streets, then it becomes unsafe.
And it
I'm
holds
here.
up you guys, it holds up other fans that
And-
might have had to travel to get to the conventions, to get to other places.
So I just say, hey guys, I love you guys. I love all of you. Thank you. Just let me go be a person today. But they get so angry.
They get upset. And
But-
this is sometimes after he's been out there, or I've been out there all morning taking photos with every single person, but it'll be that one person that didn't get the photo, and it's social media, and then it just creates this like rampant thing.
Right, but the reality of it is, and we've talked about this a million times, is that I always want to be sensitive to that, because you never know someone's story.
Yeah, you don't.
You know, I have young kids that come up to me and they say, you know what, my mom just died of cancer, but the last 4 years, all my mom and I did was bond watching Vampire Diaries. And so the bond that they have with this story is far deeper and greater than I could ever even imagine. So I want to be sensitive to that and understand it. So
Yeah.
you feel so bad at the end of the day
I
when you
know.
see people crying because you didn't get a photo.
But I also want to say this, in you and I's defense, and really the cast defense, we're not here to just, we're working on some film. We're literally here to meet the fans. We
Right.
are making ourselves accessible to you. So come to the conventions and meet us. Outside of the hotel room, it's a lot to ask, and almost not creep. It's
Well, it's just
listen,
impossible
It's
because
impossible. We are on
Yeah.
a schedule to meet the fans, but we are on a strict schedule to meet fans that have done whatever they had to do to get their asses there, to take photos, to meet with us. So don't bitch about it online if you don't get a photo outside the hotel room. Drive up the street and come sit with us, because we are here for you. That's why we're here, to meet you. So just make it a little bit easier for us. I just need to say that because I know what you're talking about. I get it too. We all get it, but we're here to do conventions. Brussels, Paris, where else is KLZ? Barcelona. Come there. That's where we are. You can find us. We're right there. We're waiting for you. I just need to say that because I get it too.
President.
I'm just saying, like, that's
No,
why we're here.
It just, what happens is social media, you know, you want to spread good energy on this thing. And I just want people to be happy. And I want them to feel fulfilled. And I want them to get the experience they want. But also, too, just recognize that there are boundaries. People are just people. So when they're walking in the street, you can't grab them. You can't cry at them because they're just trying to have a day. You can't.
No.
It makes the experience dirty and yucky. So just have an interaction. Say hello.
Do it right.
But just... Cat Grandpa
I'm
Fred.
just saying, just do it. Do
Well,
that
you know,
shit
it
right.
wasn't as bad before social media. You know, people had their cameras, they wanted to take a picture, it was for them. Whereas now, it's not just for them.
They want to share it with
Bragging
everyone.
I did this, you know,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
think that's part of the issue. It becomes a frenzy, you know, a feeding frenzy type thing. But anyway,
Yeah, no, it's
just food for
it's-
thought.
It's interesting. I mean, these things change the world. These things change the world. I remember, dude, when you first got the set, it was literally day one. Daniel and I did a movie together eons ago. It was actually a really beautiful film. Incredible performance by you, brother. We literally bonded. We lived in a bed and breakfast together with Scott Wilson and David Strathairn. It was right when David was being nominated for an Oscar at the time, and we had a really incredible experience. And then, geez Louise, I don't even know, 3 years later, we show up and he's on set, and I said, I'm so happy you're here, man, because I know how talented he is, and I knew it was going to bring a lot. And he goes, so this thing is doing pretty well. It's crazy. And I said, just wait, man. Just wait till that first episode comes out, and then the second episode comes out. Your character, I said, just wait. Social media and media in general is going to blow up, and it's going to be expedient, and it's going to be exponential. And he goes, yeah, no, I'm sure. And then about 6 months later, Daniel and I are sitting, and he goes, you were right. This is crazy. I mean, but it's the beautiful thing about this social media sphere. But it's also something that I just want to start gearing up young people to just have some respect for us and recognize that we do love you.
Yes.
And we are literally here for you. But it's just, the boundaries are starting to blur a little bit.
Right. And just practice social, conscious behavior online. You don't want to be a bully. You don't want to be bullied. Don't bully us.
Yeah.
Just practice. If you know that an artist is a certain way, or you know that they're there to just be supportive of other artists. Just practice conscious behavior online.
And we aren't actually our characters. We
By the way,
we aren't
I'm
actually
not
vampires,
Wait, what?
You know what I mean? No.
No.
Some people, they
And
think
they're
you.
young, and I understand
Honestly-
that. But,
Honestly, a lot of people really hated me until they actually got to meet me.
Same with me.
Hated
Same with me.
I think you're an asshole.
Well, except for you, but and Daniel maybe too. I know
Yeah,
he
I'm
doesn't
glad
like
you
me.
made
Very
that
little
point.
changes before and after. They
Glad
don't
you
like
made
me
that
before and after. There's no transition for me. It's
Yeah, but you guys are really hot, so
That's
it makes up for a lot of,
You're
No,
so
it's-
charming too. So clever.
It really has been the most incredible journey, and because of the love, we have become substantial influencers in the world, and that's what I'm so thankful for, is the ability to actually speak to people and empower them to do more. I love that, but I just wanted to say that we are all, in our own right, so thankful for the amount of love that we get from you, the media, translating that to the
Super
audience.
hot media in Belgium.
I know. Belgium wins the award
The
for best
Belgian
looking
women.
media, but
Everyone,
we should be taking photos of you guys.
Yes.
also Europe.
I start taking
Everyone-
out my phone.
it's also Europe, so everyone's
Is that
so much more
camera?
stylish.
Oh yeah, women in Europe, men in Europe also.
Depends
So
on
who
where-
else?
It's true.
Men
Who
and
else?
cis.
Got a question?
That was the last question.
Oh, wait, really
That was the
quickly,
last
go, go,
question.
go.
No, it's okay.
Oh, fine, all right, you don't want to ask this question.
Okay, just one, yes?
Yeah, last question.
Very quick.
Okay, you were talking about fan. What is the most surprising or the most touching gift you get from a fan?
The story. The stories. I need to send this out. I'm going to beg people not to bring gifts. I'd rather just make a tiny donation to ESF, because the gifts, I love sorting through them, but it's also a lot of waste.
Right.
It's a lot of paper, it's a lot of plastic, and then I travel a lot, so I necessarily can't take things all the time. And-
Right. No more chocolates for me.
No, we don't eat chocolate.
Yeah, no
I'm
more chocolate.
expanding by the hour.
I want chocolate.
Just no more chocolates. I will
want
say this
chocolate.
on record though, I'm
Belgium
super
needs
into
chocolate.
crystals. So if you want to get me anything, get me some crystals for my crystal collection. Other than that, please, no more chocolate for God's sake.
Ian, you made me think of something I want to say real fast. I've just recently started organizing a group and organizing a nonprofit and working for a charity, which was anti-bullying, and that was my choice, and which is very inspired by you.
Thanks, man.
And so, something I never realized. I mean, I knew I was doing it because I feel like everyone's been bullied at least once in their life, and we're all affected by it. And I'm kind of blown away by what I've uncovered by some of these people that are coming forth and sharing these
Their
stories.
stories.
And
Yeah,
I'm getting
the
emotional
stories.
thinking about it because I never imagined it would be this impacting to me. Like I knew I would get the feeling of this feels good, like we're doing something right. But damn, I'm getting people coming out of the woodwork being like, I this really hits home with me, and they give me a
Right.
story, and I'm like,
It's the
oh my
stories.
God,
Those are
that's amazing, yeah. And so totally.
Those are the things. I mean, Initially, and we talked about this way early in the Vampire Diaries, this show created, I guess what we can call a parental loophole. It filled a loophole, which is kids don't talk to their parents anymore. They don't. And then there's no social references anymore because the leaders come and go. It's like the boy bands and the Britney Spears of the world are all now so churned out. There's 900 channels on television. There's 5 huge or 6 huge platforms of social media. Kids, it's like candle in the wind. It's all so fast, and who do I grab onto? But it's the stories. It's the story of the young person who went through cancer with their mom or dad, or went through a time of bullying, and their mother and their father or them got to bond watching this show.
Right.
So it's not just a
Right.
silly television show. It's actually a moment for
Right.
young people to bond with their parents.
Right.
Well, throughout all the ages, we've relied on drama and the tradition of storytelling. And this is just the current form of that. You know, mythology is what we have as a people for our culture, every single country in the world. And without that, there's nothing, there's no history. And it may seem silly, like, you know, it's a soap, it's a vampire show, but at the moment, that's our modern day mythology. These are stories that are mirroring what people are experiencing in their own lives.
And have been going through since the beginning of time.
And
Yeah,
if you want
exactly.
to go back to your question about like a specific thing that a fan has done, I was at Comic-Con this past year, and one of the heads of the CW said, "There's somebody I want you to meet. I'm going to wait till the rest of the autographs are finished. I want you to meet her." And I'm like, "Okay, it's fine. It's just, you know, someone's kid. I don't know." He brings up this little fan. She had to have been about maybe 10 or 11, and she looks at me and she starts crying. And she's like, "I just want to say thank you because for the first time I watched TV and I saw someone that looked like me." So for me, that's why it's also I'm an African American on television, and it's extremely important that I am socially conscious. So it's important for Ian to be socially conscious. You're in a position of power, whether it's a vampire show, whether it's a CNN thing, whatever. You have the attention of the youth, of people that are going to be running this country, that are going to be running the world. What do you do with it? So when you hear those stories, it propels you to, one, create really good work so they can stay connected to you emotionally, stay connected to your character, invest in who you are as a person.
Yeah, it
and then
inspires
outside
us
of that,
as well.
to keep going. You know, because sometimes even as an actor, just as everyone else's jobs sometimes feel unfulfilling, everyone else's jobs also feel unfulfilling. There are moments as actors where you're like, am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Am I making the right moves? Is this worth it? Is this extra audition worth it? Are these 20 pages I have to memorize for something that's just going to go on tape and maybe get lost forever? Is it worth it? And you see those stories, and you're like, okay, yeah, it's worth it. When you meet these fans and they tell you what you mean to them, it's worth it. That's what makes it worth it.
Yeah.
I'll just do it for me.
Daniel, you have 10 kids. You have to.
Yeah.
I gotta do something about it.
It's
I
like
gotta
It's like the Marlon Brando. Right?
I'm cut off. I'm cut off. No more kids.
Hey, you know what I mean?
No more legitimate ones, anyway.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you so much.
On
you
that
guys.
note,
Hey guys, thank you.
Thank you.
That was a great ending. Thank you guys so much for all the love and
Thank you.
and
Thank you for
by
coming
the
here
way,
today.
you the media are who get this
Yes.
information out to people.
You guys
so
are
thank
very
you.
powerful.
Thank
so
you for the support and love.
Thank you.
Truly.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.